attackers and some that have no idea what they're doing. Then we're going to go into some counters and techniques, because almost anything and almost everything can be countered, and then those counters can be countered, and it becomes a mental exercise as to who wins. And the third one is, what was this third one? Counters. Oh,
on
limited joint movement.
Yes.
Okay, so if you have like one arm that's out of position, et cetera. I've embraced my left leg right now, so that's my two. No, I'm only kidding. So those are the three topics. If at any time there's something you don't understand, or you have a question about anything, please ask. Because I'm here as a resource, and you asking the question, there may be 4 or 5 other people that may be thinking that question, but just don't want to ask it. They don't want to ask the question, you know. So please ask. It's really important. If any of you sustain injury at any time, please let me know so I can go and all of us would like to practice our first aid on you. Last item is, if you, I don't think nothing you do this morning is going to be heavy exertion. But if you do feel faint or something of that sort, please sit down where you're at, and we will come over to you and practice first aid on you. Okay. I've had one instance of that in 50 years of teaching, and the lady walked out of the class and about 50 yards away from the building. She fainted, and someone came in and said, "Got one of your students out cold on the blacktop." In any case, and she was afterwards, but at the time it isn't. Okay, one other thing, I do have a few books here. Black Belt, about 3-4 years ago, bought out by Active Interest Media. Active Interest Media, half a year ago, sold it to Century Martial Arts. Century Martial, and I've talked to the president, we've had a couple of conferences. They're still going through boxes of stuff. And so I can't even order books. They've got the books, they just don't know which box they're in, or you know how to, this is their first time in this type of venture. They're also looking at a book proposal of mine, and the president said it looks like a great topic, which is the tentative title is going to be Jujitsu Towards Perfection, the empty hand. But that title may change by the time it gets published. But in any case, it's a theory-heavy book. It will have some technique in it, though. Mainly dealing with empty hand techniques. Okay, what else do I need to mention? This afternoon, we're doing the self-defense routine again. Okay, and that's a valuable learning experience for all of you, and I strongly recommend you do it. And because when I look at it, it's surprising when I look at evaluation videos that I get. Yes, people do the confidence, but when you put them in a self-defense situation, you say, "I'd like to see you react to street attacks for about a minute with one attacker," and that's where a lot of people fall apart. And that's really what it comes down to in Jiu-Jitsu, is that you can't, deal with these continuous attacks. In a street situation, it's never going to happen. Okay? If you know your techniques, I've had a few students, I've been in one or two situations, it's over in 5 or 6 seconds. I've never had a student who's had to go down to the ground, except for one black belt who took down a first snatcher. The guy pulled a screwdriver on him, and he chose to keep a shoulder lock and sitting on his back for about 10 minutes in downtown LA until the police showed up, while the crowd was shouting, "Kill him, kill him." And the guy was saying, "You're killing me, stop it." Other than that, had an attacker have to go down the ground for any practice like that. So, what you are learning is worthwhile. It does work. The ground is the worst place to be. It's a given. Okay, so are all of you warmed up to some extent, or do you want to do this stretching, a little stretching, or how do you want to do some stretching? May I remember that rapid? Okay. We'll just go directly into the other one here. Okay, wonderfully great. Let's see, who should I'll use you because you're halfway up already. Okay, now this is there's going to be some practice for you. We bow off to each other, so if he actually hits me, it's not his fault. Okay. And if you become an instructor, I know when I taught junior high, if I didn't get hit in the mouth once or twice during the semester, it was unusual. The first time a kid would hit me, they thought this policy in our school was that if a kid touches a teacher in an aggressive manner, that kid, the teacher is expected to file a felony assault charge against the kid. Kids were scared. I won't say the word. I said, no, it's all right. You're in this class. You're not going to get in trouble. And that took a lot of pressure off. Okay, then they tried to hit me. Okay. Normally when an attacker comes, who do they hit? Yeah. Okay. That's what he said. Okay, all right. And they say, if you go away, come back next week and show me that. Okay. And this is the thing we really face most of the time, that our attacker is not being mobile. Okay. And so we have to train the attacker, and part of this depends upon the person's his belt rank and my belt rank. Okay. If I am demonstrating a technique, I say hit. I don't want to hit, so I can show the block. Okay. But if you were coming and okay. Don't apologize. Okay. I need to have it moving, and I need to have it, rather than holding that arm out there. I'm a black belt. You should be able to take it out there, bring it back. The speed at which he retracts it is determined by what we are doing. If I'm learning a technique, he goes a little slower. But he shouldn't be hanging out there until hell freezes over. I tell my students, come on, 2, and then take it back, which is still a hell of a long time. But my attitude is, if the Tory doesn't know what to do in 5 seconds, you need to start over. Okay, so he's going to come in. Okay. I'm going to walk away. For those who know, I use an open hand. A fist will give you a better block. No argument. It's a stronger block. The problem is, if you block with a fist, if he retracts, I have to open my hand before I can do anything with it. So what I want to do is, I'm going to be blocking and then I'm not grabbing. He pulls back. I'm in. Okay. So he's doing my work for me. Just people are incredibly lazy. Okay. So what I want you to do, and as a Tori, I'd like to set your own speed, but I want you to block it, and I didn't give him a chance to pull back at that. Okay. And but all I'm really doing is hooking, and he's providing, if he moves his hand downward, it will come out. Okay. There's no grab there. But by the time I'm hooking him, and he pulls back, that helps pull me into him. Okay, I'm already put my technique. So what I want you to do is, rather than having your hooking, stand there, so you block, and then grab, and then you're going to step in. I want him to retract. And the speed at which the hooking does that should be somewhat dependent on your belt rank. Okay. And there are times when I will miss. I mean, I'll get the block in, but I won't be able to hook it fast. The block is what is more important, because that gets away from your face. As my co-instructor, Mark Tucker, said, all you have to do is move a hip 2 or 3 inches either way. Most people think their head is bigger than it really is. Our heads are really pretty small targets. Okay, you go 3 or 4 inches either way, all you're going to hit is ear. Okay, and if you're moving, you move that small target. Okay, so all I want you to do is get up in the corner and practice. Come in, you can, rather than move it out there, you can take it, retract it. And I want you to hook on and step in. Okay. And everyone round. Right, it is great. You may do this, you know, you'll be doing this a little slower. Okay. As an attacker, he shouldn't retract any. I should be blocking. Once he sends it by block, he should then start pulling back. Okay. And so if you're working with a green belt and you're a higher rank, slow down a bit so they can learn. The purpose of the class is to learn how to do something, not to get frustrated. Okay? So you have to adjust. That's all I want you to do is do this for just a couple minutes to see if you get a feel for it. Okay? So, find out. I'm watching people's footwork. It's interesting. Okay, I'll borrow you this time. Precious. Okay. And I want you to what I'm seeing, a few of you are coming to new kids. Hey, we'll get our hand. Now, some of you, and I do this automatically, so I have to slow myself down. Some of you are walking, and then stepping in. It's a horrible place to be. That's why you get hit. What I do, if you had any Krav Maga training, that's pretty bad. Okay. There's a tendency to combine things. Okay. So that you can hit. As I come in, as I block, I'm stepping in, but I'm also doing a strike back to it. I'm not going to worry about the strike part like that. Okay. But what I'd like you to do as Corey is when you're blocking, I'm stepping in. This, you know, and Mark and I have differences of it. I'll always have to stand up here in case he decides to swing. He can't really hit me effectively here anyway. But you've got to protect your head. Okay. But I'm turning back, I'm coming in sideways, so hitting it the side of the head is a lot better than hitting the face anyway. If you've ever had that experience. Okay. But I want you to, as you block, the instant after you block, you should have stepped in. And that brings you right into the person for whatever your heart desires that you want to do. Okay. Makes another hit almost useless. Okay. This is where I'd like to see you get to. I'm going to hit, and I'm already in. I'm not blocking, then stepping, going into whatever I'm going to go into. I want you to block and step almost at the same time. It's hard for people to do the first time because they're afraid of getting hit. But if you learn to keep your hand up, it's going to get, this isn't going to hurt as much as getting hit with a fist. And odds are you're going to be in too close and too far to his right, or this hit, that hit can be effective anyway. Okay, but I want you to move in. You got to use his energy. Jiu-Jitsu people are lazy. Let him do the work. He's providing all the solar power and light up your light bulbs. Okay, so let's go. Try this again. Okay, let me borrow. Okay, we're going to have you prove this one more factor. Okay. And he's going to block. I'm going to trap. I'm going to come in. But you don't want to just stop here. You want to turn also. Because that's going to lead you into whatever you want to do. So when you come in with this hit, it's going to be, okay, I'm turning as I come in. Okay, I don't want to be facing him this way. I want to end up about right here, about 45 degrees in. And this gives me a lot of options here, but it's also continuing his momentum in a circle. Okay. He's pulling me in. I'm just coming in and doing the little turn. Okay, so that's all I want you to do at this point. Okay, no throws here. Okay, I want you to just come in, and rather than coming in straight, as he pulls back, see, as he pulls back, okay, see, he's actually providing that opening for me. Let him provide your openings, okay? So just pick up with your partner, continue on. Get a little, start winding into the person. Now we're doing a lot of consideration for you right now. That other part you okay. Now, and who said, what I'm doing, I'm coming in here and turning. I'm getting into his vertical y-axis. I'm becoming his center. Okay? And that's what's going to make whatever throw you do now more effective. If you can, on any technique, if you can replace his center with your center, technique's a breeze. Doesn't matter what technique it is. Okay? And by getting that rotation, that gets me in there very tight, and I'm basically in my y-axis and his y-axis are basically in line with each other. Okay, our vertical axes. Okay, so that's what makes the technique easier to do. So what I want you to do, and you probably want to spread out a little bit into this space. Okay, I want you to come in this way, walk in, walk the track, step in enough so that when you come in, I want you coming in here and going like this. Okay. When you come in, I want that body impact. Okay. I'm turning, but there's still an impact. That can actually be your distraction strike, out of curiosity, in case you're wondering. You can use your body to hit with. Okay. And then do whatever throw you want. You have enough mat space. Okay, so each person is going to get in 2 or 3 throws. Try this 2 or 3 times. There's all the space here you can use. And do whatever you want, except that you're going on. And I'm not worried about the person that's thrown. I'm worried about the person they land on. Okay, so you got all this room here with space and spacing. You get a couple 3 throws in them. Then we'll continue on with training the uke. Come on, let's go. Okay. Tomorrow. Let's be volunteer. Now, okay. How many of you watch WWE? I mean, it's all you play anyway. Yeah, it's a little bit. No one's going back. No one's going to repent. WWF, it's the person's stomach. They just stand there. They fake it. Now, as uke, you can have a lot of fun. Okay, as uke, if you respond to how the Tori is responding to your attack. Because that is, even if you just bend over, if I'm going with a hit, and he just, okay, what happens is he's in a better position to let me do whatever technique I want to do. If I'm going with a hit, and he goes, he goes back. So one of the things you have to train your uke is to respond somewhat to your simulated attack. So that's what you're going to have unless you find someone who's high on drugs. You know, that's how they're going to respond, okay? And your uke, you need to train your uke so that they will, that they will, tell them to go watch WWF for 5 minutes. That's all they need, okay? And they will learn how to respond to simulated strikes, etc. But this is very important, okay? So if I come in with a hit, here, okay, which is something I am more apt to do than trying to hit the person. I know coming in with that knee right up will get a definite response to it, unless it really will hurt. But that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a reaction from the uke that allows me to go into whatever technique I want to do next. Okay. But yeah, you may think I'm going in for hip throw, but I don't. I'm doing a knee turn. Okay. Or my arm. Okay, so, but the point is, it sets their body up a little more, it opens them up a little more, and you need to have that training experience as a Tory for a street situation. Okay, so what we're going to have you do now is rather than the first okay, and in a street situation, the hits we're doing in Jiu-Jitsu are not meant to injure. If they injure, hunky-dory. The intent is to create a distraction. 3 to 7/10 of a second. Okay. They create a distraction. If they happen to crack a rib or break his nose, or that's secondary. That was never your intent. His head just happened to be in the wrong place at the right time. Okay, that's not your intent. Your intent is that your hit is to distract the person from what you really want to do. Okay, coming in with the impact is a distraction. Coming with a hit is a distraction. 2 distractions there. Now I might have anywhere from 6 to 6/10 of a second to over a second of lead time on him. Okay, he's lost. Okay. So what I'd like your uke to do is, I'd like you to react, do the the verbalizations will help too, okay? Yes, this is a serious martial art, but there's no reason why you can't have a little fun with it at the same time, okay? So, and you're gonna finish up with a throw. On the throw, I'd like to compliment all of you on using good control. Downstairs, I'm not complaining about falling ceiling tiles yet. Some of you are holding on to the person's body to let them down a little more gently. Others of you are pulling up on their sleeves so they can break their fall properly. And I want to compliment you on that. Okay. Because on the street, that's critical. You may not want to injure that person. When I started the junior high, I spent 18 years. I took over a homeroom. And at that time, back in the 60s, you had boys' homerooms and girls' homerooms. Okay. The following year, they changed it. They got with reality. But I took over a homeroom for another teacher that had to leave for whatever reason. It was a 9th grade boy homeroom. And they wanted their own teacher back in the story. And the ringleader of this group, one day I'm walking back to class after brunch. And he comes up behind me with a pen. Somehow he found out I didn't comes with a pen around my neck from behind. Block. As I'm throwing him, I realize he's one of my kids. We're on cement. And I put him up very gently. My next question was, are you okay? Okay. Now, my all rights, and the principal wanted to know at the end of the day, where's your felony assault report? And I said, he's in my homeroom. I've got 2 years to file an assault charge in California. I want to see how his behavior changes and how the rest of the homeroom changes. And if that change takes place, everything is fine. It was a great homeroom after that. So you may not, it's amazing how many friends and relatives will try stuff on you, or you may not really want to hurt the person. That control is so important for your own safety. Their safety. And if you're law enforcement, you've got to be really careful about this from another perspective as well. Okay. So let's have bouquets. I want you to have a little fun with being kids. Somebody, I've seen a lot of these other parties, they're doing equal whatever. Okay, there's a lot of equal whatever. Okay, equal fushi, equal tenagi. Some of you are when you're coming in. Okay, some of you are coming in and you're grabbing up here, which is fine. Okay, and you want to grab as high as you can. Okay, some of you are coming in and just cooking. Okay, and this is what's holding, and you're coming in and doing the equal or whatever. Okay, and where were we talking about? Yeah, you two guys. If when you're doing equal, sometimes you want to help get the person up a little bit, so it makes you get a better. You're initiating your throw before you do it, and that can either be done. There are different like shut up, Kirby, just do it. You can pull the person up. Okay. You can also, when you come into him with this rotation, bring this up. Okay. And some of you are just kind of like, okay, I've got him here. Okay. But if you can come up and do a tight grip like a vice, okay, and then continue on, this will make your throw more effective because if it's just here, as you turn, there's going to be some slip. You want to be, the closer you get to his y-axis, the less effort you have to use to turn the person. Okay, the less torque. Yeah, the less torque is required. Okay, if I'm in here, okay, I haven't even started to do the throw yet, and he's on his toes. Okay, this is me, I pulled this out, I brought this up, I clamped it in, I'm bringing this around. Okay, now I can do whatever throw my little partner desires. Okay, Hariboshi, Haitoshi, Koshinagi, whatever. You need to do Maki Komi, otherwise hard with it, right? But anyway, the shoulders don't land, right? That hurts. Him more than me. Okay, so, you know, we're not going to have time to do that because I want to get back to Uke. Okay. Okay, I want you to grab your attacker by both lapels. Yeah, you did it right. Why are you not crossing them?
Like a street attacker.
No, you don't admit. Now, someone does do a street attacker like that. Okay. I'm still in a pretty good position for a lot of good techniques, because his arms are crossed. Okay. He is so set to go into pathetic. Okay. But what he did, okay, when he did this, what was my first body reaction? Where did my body move? Back. That's natural. Okay. So he's going to do this. Okay. See, I'm already take a step back. I'm set for my technique. Okay. If he's going to push you rather than fighting, you always help your attackers. Okay. I was philosopher in my Sensei had, the attacker is sick. You need to help him. It's a mindset, and if you can adopt that mindset, it takes away a lot of the guilt. I might hurt him. No, you didn't hurt him. He attacked you, he fell and hurt himself. You just helped him. He wanted to go that way, you helped him. Okay? Because if you're always worried about hurting your attacker, you will never be able to successfully defend yourself. You can't do both. Okay? So, I mean, that was Seki's way of dealing with it. You help people because they're sick. And the person is sick. I mean, they do have mental problems. They go around attacking people on the street or trying to rob you and stuff like that. They have an issue. Okay? So you're going to do what you can to help them. Okay. So now, either the attacker is going to push you back, which is good, but what I see a lot of times happening is they grab the attacker. And all they do is grab the attacker and stand. On the street, this isn't going to happen. I'm going to push you back, or I'm going to pull towards you. Okay. I'm helping him do whatever technique he's going to do. Okay, you help your attacker because he's helping you. Okay, so what I want you to do is rather than just grabbing, okay, or choking. I'm doing this for 10 minutes now. He hasn't done anything. Okay. I want you as an attacker, move this person. Okay. Give them something to work with. Okay. Very good. Find your tori, find your uke. Move the tori around a little bit. Tori. Okay, what I'm trying to do here, mainly for uke, was to get them really involved in attacking like you would have an attack on the street. Now I know when you're learning a technique, and who am I talking here? I know when you're learning a technique, yes, even yeah, he's probably going to hold it out there for a while so I can get everything down. Okay. Okay. And that's irrelevant. Right. Okay. I have to learn the movements. But if he's a good uke, he will respond time so that as I get better, he will speed up his attack or grab the lapel as I get better with the technique. Maybe the first time he's just going to. But as we progress on, he's going to give me some hassle. See, if I do that. Me not stupid. Anyway, which is something exciting to be aware of, is that just because a person comes in and grabs you like this doesn't mean that's all they're going to do to you. Okay? Because he can start to miss it. And if you're so concentrated on what to do for a lapel grab, double lapel grab, okay, when you're responding in the street, you really cannot say, okay, he's coming at me with this attack, this is what I'm going to have to deal with, because he may change his attack. Okay. This is not as high of a threat level as if he comes in with a fist. This is a higher threat level. If he reaches that, pulls out a gun or knife, that's a higher threat level than a hit. You always have to go after the highest threat level. Okay. Or if you're law enforcement, what the potential highest threat level is. Okay. Which is when I train my students when they're bringing an opponent down to the ground, I always tell and it comes from when I work with law enforcement personnel. If they have a hand under them, just get that hand out from under you. I need to see it visible. Okay. And I'll use whatever pain technique I need to get them to get that hand out there. Okay. Because you don't want to, he may have something in his pocket that he can take out, possibly injure you. So it's something you just need to be aware of what attack poses the highest threat level to you, and that's what you deal with. Okay, this becomes secondary. Okay, if it's a headlock. Okay, person's going to put you in a headlock. I want them to, they're not going to stand here on the street and say, I got this guy in a headlock, I'm winning. Okay. I'm going to move him around a little bit, because that's what normally happens. Because normally he's going to be trying to get out of it, and I'm going to be trying to get out of it. He maintained it, and so I'm going to move around. It's a matter of who gets ahead of who. Okay, so just working with your ukes, try to get them to be a little more alive. I know I have that problem in my dojo, even with my upper belts at times. they stand there and grab, and I said, what did you have before you came to class tonight? And they just stand there. And it's not good for you. The higher rank you go, the worse it is for you. Okay. I'm gonna give you a break for a couple minutes. We're gonna come back and we're going to deal with you're limited to one extremity, other than your legs. Not heavy. That's be ridiculous. But anyway, so we're gonna give you a break for about 5 minutes. We're gonna come back and we're gonna go into techniques if you are limited to one extremity. Okay? Everybody up?